Hey, thanks for tuning into the Land and Home Show. Today is all about Zillow. Hi, I'm Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor here in Central Kentucky and beyond. And here we are again in my car. Oh, look at that. We're having some crazy wind, and I just saw a bunch of stuff that I couldn't find. Anyway, so we're talking about Zillow today because I just want to talk and clarify about what Zillow is. We all use it. I mean, I am a licensed realtor in the state of Kentucky, and I still go on Zillow for certain reasons. So, I mean, Zillow is a tool. It's here. It's not leaving. You know, it's a tool that I hate to use, but I use it. However, I understand fully what it's for, what its limitations are. And so for you watching, or, you know, if you've ever thought about selling your own home, or you are on there as a potential buyer or whatever, it's important to understand what Zillow is. So, number one, Zillow is a vertical listing site. Vertical is just like a fancy word for aggregating a bunch of stuff in one place. So this really goes for Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com. Like, they all work the same way, okay? The second thing is, unless you're looking at for sale by owner things, which is like maybe 5% of all real estate transactions, like that's a real stat. You know, give or take a few percent depending on what state you're in. But unless you're looking at for sale by owner stuff, what you're seeing on Zillow is, in some shape or form, information taken from a bunch of local MLS associations. So like here in Kentucky, there's the Northern Kentucky Association of Realtors. There's the Bluegrass Association of Realtors, sorry, Lexington Bluegrass Association of Realtors, LBAR. There is the Central Kentucky. There's all these different associations, and every state is like that. There are different associations of realtors for different regions of the state. What Zillow does is it takes all of those listings, if that association has an agreement with Zillow to share that information, and it shows you everything that are in all of these different associations. So when you are using Zillow thinking that you're going to see something differently than maybe what your realtor is showing you, the truth of the matter is it's not an accurate expectation or a really great understanding of what Zillow is there for. The third thing you need to understand is, because Zillow does take so much information from so many places, and I've harped on this before, Zillow is not always accurate. Zillow is something that is constantly trying to update information and using records not just from the MLS, but from sometimes not reliable sources. So things like, oh yeah, well, I saw this place sold in 2020. Well, maybe it didn't actually sell. Maybe what happened is there was a person taking care of a home, and then they had a living trust, a living power of attorney that was now the new owner of that home to take care of that home for that person who was still living. And so Zillow takes that as, oh, that just sold. Actually, this just happened to me with a client. And it's not something that you can tell. It's just, this is a word of warning for the things that you're seeing there. So there are things like that. The third thing I want to touch on, or maybe it's the fourth, I don't know how many numbers I've been counting, but this idea of pre-foreclosures, that's not a thing. Zillow has made it a thing. They're getting information from somewhere with the idea that I think that these pre-foreclosure homes are maybe homes that have delinquent payments or something. I'm not really sure how they qualify pre-foreclosure, but that's not a home you can see. That's not a home that's on the market. That's not a home that has a realtor necessarily representing them. In fact, most of the time that's not the case. Now, there are cases where realtors will represent a seller in a short sale situation, and they may also happen to be in a place where they're close to being foreclosed on, but that's not the same thing as when Zillow is showing you pre-foreclosure. So that is a word of advice, because a lot of times when I work with home buyers, rarely land people, but home buyers are like, oh, this is pre-foreclosure, like we want to see it. Well, you can't. It's Zillow trying to present information to you to look like it's doing something. And you know, at best, it's something that you might keep your eye on, because maybe it will go into foreclosure. But at worst, it's just a shiny category for you to feel like you're getting some valuable information, but really it's not. It doesn't end up being all that valuable. The last thing I want to touch on, and again, I keep saying Zillow because that's kind of the most used one. Realtor.com. Wow, people are really driving slow these days, and it's a perfectly dry day. I don't understand what's going on. The last thing I want to touch on about these vertical listing sites is when you call or type in your information for more information about a property. What you need to understand there is these sites are designed, and there's nothing wrong with this. Some of the best realtors I know, they generate business this way. Is a realtor pays money, much in the way that you pay money to be on a billboard. They pay money to be on that site, whether it's Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, whatever. They maybe have purchased a 5-mile radius of something, or they may have purchased a zip code. They may have purchased a certain amount of days just to be on any part of the site. And so in any case, they're there with their face there, so that when you look for more information, they've paid to have that first right of refusal. They want to have that first contact with you. And that's how that works. You're not calling the person who has listed that property. And a lot of times there's some indignation around someone calling someone via Zillow, an agent via Zillow or via Realtor.com, and the realtor on the other line is like, tell me more about the property, or, you know, I can't show you that, or something. And the person who's asking for more information is like, wow, realtors really just, they don't want to work, they don't want to do anything. And that's not really the case, because it's not their listing, and you've called as a stranger, just looking for some more information. So a realtor is not usually of the mind to drop everything that they're doing with their actual clients in order to show you 5 houses that you're excited about. Their face is there to try to get you in the door. It's like having a sale or having a special where if you come in, we'll give you a free coffee mug kind of thing. Like it's a promotion. It is them trying to earn your business, but it's not them being there waiting to show you houses. They're literally paying for these phone calls. So when you call them, your expectation ought to be to get more information, to be ready to have a discussion about, you know, where you are in your buying process, that kind of thing. But they're not there attached to a certain property. They're there attached to a contract that they have with Zillow or Realtor.com to be guaranteed phone calls in a certain set of priority against other realtors who maybe have not paid as much, or who don't own that zip code or whatever. So that's how that works. I wanted to break that down because on one end, I want to defend realtors a little bit. I mean, yes, the bar of entry to become a realtor is very low, but there are a lot of great realtors out there. A lot of times, though, the judgment on us is user error. I don't believe in this idea that the customer is always right, because the customer is not always right. Sometimes the customer is wrong. And in that instance, the customer has to understand a little bit more about what it is they're engaging, and who it is they're engaging, and what the person on the other line is really there for on that first phone call. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to make it. The other part of the reason I want to make it is because I often see a lot of buyers, potential buyers, my own clients, they're signed up on like 80 different sites, and 80 is a lot, but you know, they're signed up on 3 or 4 different sites, ultimately getting all of the same information that their realtor is sending them, because the MLS is pushing out to all of those sites. The MLS is the source. The MLS is what's going to be the most accurate. And if you are working with a realtor, they're the ones that can really answer your question. And if they're, if you're in a business relationship, they're the ones that absolutely should be, figuring out how to make time to show you things. But when you call a random stranger on the other line, because they've paid for that territory in a particular city or county, they're trying to figure out a few things about you, understandably so, before, they just jump in and start carting you all over town. So that's Zillow, Realtor.com, all that stuff. I hope this elucidates some aspect of, the real estate buying process for you. And that's all I got for you. So I hope that you are enjoying springtime, that you are well, that you're safe, but also that you leave me some comments or questions, or get in touch with me if there's something real estate related that you think I can help you with. I'd love to do it. Buy, sell land and homes, and I will see you later.